Hi, I'm Tyler Carson with EKU Power Drives, and I'm the U.S. Technical Service Lead. Today I want to go over a few items on our product here, the Escape Engine Standby Control. First thing I want to talk about is the high current cables that are all installed on your units. So this is how we send out the high current to the peripheral items. This one right here is going to be to your second starter. And I want to speak about how the connection is going into the Escape on the back, the Stolby connector. As you can see, there's an alignment line here, a white dot and a line, and then we have a white dot on the top. This lines you up with the notch to install it into the socket side of the Escape. So what you will do is install it, push it in. Do not leave it like this, it is not fully locked in place. You're going to push it in, twist, and lock. Now, as you can see, it is twisted and locked in place and cannot be pulled out or anything. Now for removal, you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to push in, twist left, and then remove. Next up is your Combitac connector. This is going to provide power to your auxiliary units, whether it be your control box, a def heater, or any other component that you need DC voltage supplied to. For connection here, you will see that we have two males on the right side, and on the left side you're going to have two females. On the Escape itself, you can see that there's two male prongs, and on the left side there's two female prongs. These are your placement prongs, so you can't accidentally plug it in incorrectly. So as you can see, we need to rotate this opposite way. To insert it in, make sure your latch is up, align the prongs, and insert. Pull it down and lock. It is now installed and connected in. For removal, you just push the latch up. You will see that it automatically somewhat removes itself, and you can just pull it out. Next up, we have the Peltier cooler. This Peltier cooler is going to circulate the air inside of the enclosure over a cooling plate to help dehumidify the interior of the enclosure and prevent condensation, buildup, or humidity of being inside the enclosure. Over here, we have our radiator fan. This radiator fan helps cool the coolant that is circulating internally of the Escape coolant circuit. As you can see here, we have a coolant reservoir. This coolant reservoir is going to be filled from the top with coolant that will then go into the internal system of the Escape. Anytime you see this is kind of low, you can top off coolant 50-50 or whatever your shop provides. Next, over here, we have the main trailer connection points. This is what we refer to as P1, and this is P2. P1 is going to have all your signals coming off the SCU, going into the components of the main trailer. You're going to have your voltage outputs go into these components. Okay, on the side here you can see we have a label that is Escape battery LED colors. This is going to refer to the LED light you will see here that is also mirrored on the power module here. They go the same light, they will show the same colors at the same time. You can just refer to the outside one. As you can see, green, this is going to be like battery levels, red through yellow through green. Green is going to be when your battery of the Escape is 60% or higher to full. Yellow is going to be anywhere from 60% down to 30%. Red is going to be anywhere from a 30% battery state of charge down to 0 or a completely dead. A white light flashing, such as you can see here, just means that the Escape is booting up. It is doing a self-system check and booting, and then once the system is fully booted on, you will see that it changes to the battery state of charge that it currently has. So currently we are seeing anywhere from 30 to 60% battery state of charge on this particular Escape. So as you can see, the Escape state of charge is currently anywhere from 30 to 60%. When utilizing the maintenance charger off the wall outlet, we can confirm that the escape is getting a charge by the LED status light blinking. This means the escape is receiving its charge, whether it be from the wall outlet or from the alternator on the unit. Another light that you can see here is purple. Purple is a battery fault or battery issue detected. If you have a purple light, you are going to want to reach out to EKU support to help you determine the cause and the fix for your purple light. Here is the EKU service port. You will need a laptop and an Ethernet cable with this. You will insert your Ethernet cable into the port. You will open any browser and type into the URL 169.254.1.1. This will have all of your fault codes, J1939 data of the unit hours, and escape and EKU setting. When inserting the charge cable, there's 2 alignment points. You will push this in. You're not done there yet. To make sure that the cable is actually inserted and locked properly, you want to twist and listen for it to lock in place. To remove, you will place your hand on top, pull the lock back, twist counterclockwise, and remove. As you can see on the front of the escape, there's 4 lots located on the front door. Each one of these lots has to be completely locked in place to benefit from the IP67 rating of the escape enclosure. Four. Once again, speaking on the 4 lots, as you can see, they all have to be locked in place. If these are not all locked in place, this will allow for water intrusions or any other external debris. They all have to be in lock so that the gasket seal is completely sealed up against the interior of the enclosure. On the interior of the escape, mounted on the top of the electronics frame, there's an alternator relay here. This alternator relay is utilized if there is an overcurrent event. It will automatically open the receiving leg from the alternator so that the lithium-ion batteries do not receive damage from an overcurrent event of the alternator. Next to it, we have an 80 amp and 50 amp thermal self-resetting breakers. These breakers are what supplies the power to the Combatech connector we spoke about on the rear of the enclosure that powers auxiliary customer components, whether it be a control box or anything of the sort. If an overcurrent event or a short to ground event is noticed by the breaker, it will automatically open itself, and then after a cool down period, it will self-reset and allow voltage to once again pass through. Now we have removed the power module from inside of the enclosure. Looking here on the bottom, this is the escape electric heater. Think of this as a heating block. It is going to heat up the cooling plate that the coolant pump on the inside of the enclosure is circulating through the cooling plate channels. And the escape electric heater is heating the cooling plate that the coolant is passing through. The coolant pump is inside of the enclosure. It is located on the rear right side wall, and it is utilized to circulate the coolant through the escape coolant system. The same coolant pump is also what pushes and pulls the coolant across the radiator we discussed earlier on the rear side of the escape enclosure. Next here, you can see the Zeus board. The Zeus board is a CAN bus controlled system that sends DC outputs to all EKU peripheral components, exterior of the escape. Above this, you can see our inverter. This is what converts the AC power coming in from your wall plug, off the maintenance charger, or off the unit alternator, and recharges the lithium-ion batteries that are housed inside of the power module. I hope the overview of more of the EKU products today has given you more knowledge on anything that is included in the escape system or in the power module system. As always, if you have any issues with our system on your unit, or if you just want to reach out for general questions or general information, you can always reach out 24/7 via text or call to 972-746-4217, or send an email to support@ekupd.com.